A daily multivitamin mineral supplement can make a significant difference for healthy aging. At least that's what the research shows over the last 20 years or so in various areas. But no more relevant and important is in the recent research on cognitive, memory, and concentration. All showed positives, but I'll get into that in a moment. The first question arises: why do we need to supplement with vitamins and minerals? Because we're told by the health professionals who are raised by the pharmaceutical companies that you don't need them. What you do need is the Viagra, and what you do need is the drugs for lowering cholesterol and lowering that and doing all those. But vitamins and minerals, be careful, they're dangerous. Well, they're not. And the overwhelming evidence is that they have benefits throughout life in a number of areas, but in particular for healthy aging. And the reason we need the vitamins and minerals is because we probably don't get them in the foods that we're supposed to get them in unless you're on a really specific nutrient-dense diet. And the reasons we've got these widespread mineral and vitamin deficiencies in our society, it doesn't matter which one you look at, a country in Europe, the UK, US, South America, it doesn't matter, Australia, New Zealand, all of the evidence shows there are nutritional deficiencies. And broad scale, not just 5%, large groups of population, swathes of population are nutrient deficient. And it increases with age, which I'll explain in just a minute. And the reason we've got nutritional deficiencies is crop selection. We now grow crops that look good and taste sweet and whatever else, but not for the vitamins and minerals and antioxidants in them, with the exception of blueberries and, of course, and some of those things. So our crop selection, the soils we grow the foods in have been mined every single year for the last 100 or 200 years. All the nutrients from the soil, the microbiome in the soil, the minerals in the soil, all those things that keep it alive have been mined. And then we throw NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium on with its contaminant of cadmium, and that makes them stand upright and erect, but not very nutritious. They're empty in terms of what should really be in them. And then I mentioned cadmium, which is a pollutant in your nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, NPK fertilizer. That also blocks the absorption of some of the nutrients. So you're not getting it out of the soil if it's in there. Then you've got storage and transport, which can take days, weeks, months, even years. Processing can take out 80-90% of the nutrients. And that's, when you walk around the supermarket, the majority of foods that people eat are the white over-processed foods. The takeaways are the white over-processed foods. The absence of nutrients in them, the absence of vitamin, minerals, antioxidants, a whole raft of things. Then we cook them, and we cook them, and then we cook them even more, and we lose more of that. And then finally, as we age, our eating habits change. And a lot of it revolves around, company and social eating and what you can eat. And as you age, your social circle declines. You have smaller meals by yourself, quick meals, fast things. You may have problems with dentures or teeth. You may have problems with reflux and all these other health-related issues. And your eating narrows down even further. And it moves towards that processed, not so healthy, poor nutrient foods. And so it exacerbates a lifetime, literally, of not getting enough vitamins and minerals. And the research overwhelmingly now shows there's benefits in a whole raft of areas, particularly in terms of brain health and cognition. And a raft of studies that were done, 3, if you include the first part of it, 4 studies, looked at what would happen if you gave a multivitamin mineral supplement. You're probably thinking, which multivitamin mineral supplement? Well, all these studies are done by different groups, and they're just reflecting the broad scale ones you get on the marketplace, a higher quality one on the marketplace. I don't know the brand names or any specifics, so please don't ask me about that question. Ask me lots of other questions and I'll answer them, but don't ask me for the brand names because I really don't have an idea what they are. But in these 3 studies, done over 3 years, they used over 3,500 participants, elderly participants with an average age or a mean age of around 73 years of age. So they were pretty senior, and obviously getting to that age where they're starting to show lots of deficiencies in not just nutrients, but in their quality of life and so on. And one of the things they're really worried about is cognition, your memory, your focus, your brain health. And when they focus, or when they gave these elderly people a multivitamin mineral every single day, it went on for 3 years, and even at the year one, at the end of year one, they showed better memory and recall. So at year 1, 2, and 3, there was better memory recall. Wow, that's worth doing it just for that. Or if you've forgotten already. And then it comes to, in addition, it improved memory performance by 3.1 years of age-related memory change. In other words, the people who didn't get the vitamin mineral supplement but got the placebo, their memory was 3.1 years more dysfunctional than these people who got the supplement. Don't you think that's worthwhile just on that alone? So this study kind of condenses a lot of the material. There's lots of evidence out there around cognition and memory and focus, but this is a big one just recently, 23-24, and there's some more ongoing research in this area, and it's highlighting how simple it is. Now remember, there are groups out there say you don't need to. Well, here's a study that says you do need to. Then we've got cancer, and everyone dreads the idea of cancer, and the studies overwhelmingly show that cancer is related to oxidation, inflammation, mitochondrial damage, and a large part of it is poor nutrient driven. So we want to increase all the nutrients. Now, if you would ask me what supplements would you take for cancer, I'd say there are many, many more other than just the vitamins and minerals, the anti-inflammatory, the antioxidative, the mitochondrial repair nutrients. But that's a video that I've already done parts of anyway. And so we come here in a study in 2015, men over 64 years of age, and it followed them basically through for 11 years. And they found that those having a multivitamin mineral supplement had an 8% decrease in the total cancer rate. That's a huge number. But even more astoundingly, those men, this was a study of men, those men who had already had cancer, they'd already been cured, moved on from cancer, whatever it is, those men had a 27% risk reduction of cancer coming back again. 27% increase in the benefit. Wow, that is huge, isn't it? And then we go to, and all that was a multivitamin supplement. And they calculated that if every man supplemented with a multivitamin mineral, there'd be something like 68,000 fewer cancer cases and deaths. That's huge, isn't it? That's the type of information everybody should know, but well, it doesn't seem to get out there. Then you've got cardiovascular disease, and the big picture information about cardiovascular disease and multivitamin and minerals really suggests that it makes a small difference. It makes a minor difference in cardiovascular disease. But one study in 2016 showed a 44% reduction in major cardiovascular events. Now, this one stands out as an outlier. I'm not sure why reasons are, but the general consensus is there's a benefit, and the benefit is probably small, but it's there just by taking a vitamin and mineral supplement every single day. We go into eye health, and our eye health deteriorates. I have a video on eye health, specifically the specific nutrients you can take to improve eye health and prevent age-related eye damage. Now, at this point, I really would ask you to have a look at my other videos, subscribe to my channel, because I like offering people solutions, whether it's a solution to gout, to diabetes, it doesn't matter. There are solutions out there, and I put these programs together so that you can help share it, get it out there, and help the populations out there, the people who really need it. So make sure you subscribe, tick the boxes, and share it with your friends, because they all need a little bit of help. Now, on this one, in the studies, they were looking at cataracts, and another study in macular degeneration, and they've seen benefits. In a random controlled trial, they saw a decreased risk of nuclear cataract by 27%, cortical cataract by 19%, and any cataract by 34%. That's a combination of all of the cataracts and so on, just by having a daily multivitamin mineral supplement. It's pretty convincing again, isn't it? 2017, another study, it showed that a multivitamin mineral delayed the onset of what's called age-related macular degeneration. Great for the eyes. Then we go on to metabolic syndrome. And there's not much evidence that I could find in this area, but one study in 2016 showed that when they gave a multivitamin mineral supplement compared to a placebo for 2 months, and along with that, they did animal experiments where they gave the animals the placebo and or the vitamin mineral, they compared them. And the animal ones, they were looking at the molecular changes, what's going on in the biochemistry and so on, and the human studies, and they identified something like a decrease of 38 conditions linked with metabolic syndrome. And this is getting into the real biochemistry of it, getting to where it really counts and all the stuff gets done. So a pretty good reason again to take, and remember, this was done over 2 months, just 2 months. And these other studies, 2 years, 3 months, 6 months. Imagine what's going to happen if you're taking these high quality multivitamin mineral supplement all your adult life, because I do every single day. Well, pretty well every day anyway. And then finally, to wrap it up, to do with healthy aging, one of the most important ways of measuring the aging, the biological aging process, is called the telomere length. They're the little, what I call the little rubber bands at the ends of the DNA that separate out, and each time our cell splits apart and becomes another cell, they get smaller and smaller. And the more of those that occur, the smaller the bands of telomeres. And they're a predictor of our aging capacity. The longer the telomeres, the longer you're expected to live, unless, of course, you have an accident or something. But your telomere length is a really good idea of the length of years you can still live compared to other people of that age and so on. So the telomere length, and when they had 586 participants, and the telomere length with a daily multivitamin mineral supplement was 5.1% longer just by having a multivitamin mineral. So getting right into the DNA, getting right into the cell, it's showing that the multivitamin mineral supplement improves the telomere and therefore the potential for you to live a little bit longer. So we do know quite clearly, and I could probably find another 20 or 30 good studies out there, but we do know from these studies that a multivitamin mineral supplement, which costs just a few cents a day,